Brianna Brooks, my guest for the evening. You know exactly where you can find her at Brianna Brooks VIP. Links to all of her social media are in the episode description below. Please make sure you support the content creators that come on our show, otherwise they don't come back. Brianna, it's a pleasure to have you on tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, so thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on and giving me the chance to talk to you here. I used to start with a pretty basic question, just get it out of the way, but now I kind of have a different one, and I'm hoping you can answer it. When you consider all you do, what do you think your job title is?
Let's see. Okay. The first thing that comes to mind is pleaser, because I literally love what I do for the outcome of pleasing. So, I feel like I've always been a people pleaser, and that plays a big role in what I do. So whether it's creating or it's in my personal life, in the lifestyle, I love to please. I love to see whoever I'm either working with or with, happy. And so I love when I can provide some sort of pleasure, happiness. So I guess it would be pleaser.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. It's fun that you go in that direction, because I think people outside of the industry have no idea the work that you female performers put in on things other than just the sex of it. And I want to dive into that more and go deeper, but let's ask, how did you initially decide to get into the industry? What was the step when you officially went from vanilla life, whatever your job was before, if you had a job before this, moving into something else? When were you like, fuck it, we're not doing just the regular day-to-day anymore. We're going to try and make this a real thing.
Sure. So honestly, for me, the way I got started was me and my husband were in the lifestyle, and somehow, honestly, I really don't remember how I came across it, but I thought, streaming, just, at home, Streamate and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. So kind of tying into the pleaser thing, right? I'm like, oh, I love how these guys are responding to me. So, I like attention. I like to be seen. I like to be watched. So I found the streaming avenue, and I thought, wow, people are paying for me to have fun, basically, right? They're paying for me to provide something that I love to do. So the financial aspect got tied to what I love to do anyways. And then it kind of snowballed from there, where basically I got into mainstream, which was a huge decision back, when we were getting into that. And it was a whole conversation with me and my husband of hey, okay, we really going to do all this? So, it came the choice to get into it all literally is you do what you love. And I love creating. I love sex. I love attention, like I said. So having a dollar sign attached to that is awesome for me, right? I'm like, yes, please.
If I woke up any day of the week and looked like you, I would immediately go, yeah, let's get in the porn quickly. It's so, I interview newer girls that come on the show too, and some of them are in it for the right reason. There's no right or wrong reason. I'll say that. I should correct myself. Some of them are in for that reason. They enjoy the sex of it, and the money is a plus. Not that they would do it without it, but hey, it's a plus. And some people come in, it's just about money, and it's a job. I get that. Totally understand and respect that too. But what I really like talking about is people who are really into this, who really enjoy this. And, they have that saying, what is it? If you enjoy what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a sweet thing. But so many people don't enjoy what they're doing. So it's always great when you can see somebody with real enthusiasm for the actual topic itself, not just the money that comes from it, the fame that comes from it. It's you really enjoy that aspect of it, the sex aspect or the turning people on aspect. Can I jump back to your relationship? Was it always an open relationship, or did you guys make a turn at some point and decide to? And if you did make a turn, who was the one that initiated that? Who's hey, if there were more people in this, it would be even better, right?
Right? More is better. So, okay, going back to that, So I have always been very like introverted, very vanilla, like very vanilla. Like I had no idea about the lifestyle. I never watched porn. Like I looked at Playboys, but I didn't like, I don't know. I was never like exposed to like this whole world that existed. So me and my husband, we were actually high school sweethearts. So we met in high school. Obviously young, so we were off and on a lot. And then finally, fast forward, I want to say it was 2009 that we got married. I can't remember how old I was, and I'm really bad at math. So, so 2009 we got married, and shortly after we got married is when all of this topic like came about. So my husband was the one that initiated it. He like, I can't remember like what we were doing when it came up or anything, but basically the gist is he's like, so I kind of like have this thing I want to talk about. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I really want to see you like with another guy. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you know, this is crazy. Again, going back to very vanilla, very introverted. I'm like, in my mind, you get married, you get a house, you have babies. Like, you know, those are like the normal, we'll say, steps, right? So we talk about it. I was completely thinking he was full of it and basically wanted me to make a mistake for us to get a divorce. And it's like, well, why would you marry me if you just want to divorce me? Like, what was the point of all of this? And so there was a lot of conversations like about why, how, like, this is strange to me. And the deeper we got into it, I was feeling like, okay, look, like basically he is seemingly very honest about wanting to see this happen. So like, if I don't do it, it's probably not going to work out. And if I do it, well, you know what? At this point, it is what it is. Let's just give it a try. For as vanilla as I am all about like trying anything once, sometimes twice, to make sure maybe you just didn't like it the first time.
Sure. Maybe it wasn't the right scenario. Exactly. There's all kinds of scenarios for that. So basically I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let's do this. So we then, you know, find our first guy and we do it. And it's like, okay, there was a lot of feelings and emotions tied to this. And ultimately, tying into my pleaser aspect of myself, he seemed so like, wow, like, holy shit, this happened. This is amazing. I'm like, wow, he like doesn't hate me. He's not saying I'm a whore. He doesn't say, you know, like, well, now we're getting a divorce. I'm like, okay. So it totally opened the avenue for exploring further down, you know, he seemed happy. It's hot. I got good sex. And then my husband really loved it. We had great sex. So why not? Okay. That is so, it's so great you said that, because I never even considered that part of it, where you are recently married in this scenario, right? And he comes to you with this, and your first thought was what? This is a setup.
Totally. A setup. I'm like, okay, this is crazy.
There's a part of me that understands it from his thing. Like, if I were to come to my wife, you know, relatively soon after we got married, and then went like, hey, so you want to fuck other guys? It does seem out of place. Like, maybe this should have brought up before the nuptials, perhaps.
That's what I said. I was like, wouldn't you think this is something we probably should have discussed prior to, you know, putting a ring on it? So I'm actually glad that he waited till we were married, though, because I do feel I was so nervous about doing it all that I don't know that I would have done it and been like, okay, well, you know, I don't think this is a good choice for us. I don't think we should get married, just because of the stereotypical process of getting married and all of that, where sure, my mindset obviously is completely different, and I'm so happy we went down the path we did.
So were you, okay, it's also different than another scenario where you and I are married and I go, hey, let's bring another girl in. Like, that can almost be a little, if I were a woman, I'd be like, why? I'm not good enough, like, in this scenario. So when he immediately comes in, he doesn't try and pull that fast one, right? Where it's like, hey, we should bring another person in, maybe a girl, I don't know, maybe a guy. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any, like, do you feel like, is he looking at me negatively for this? Is he, aside from just the try and trick you type of thing, how did you feel about yourself? Were you excited? Like, oh, wow, he wants to share me, or was that not even in your mindset yet?
No, that was not in the mindset yet. I was way more looking at like, what's the point of this? Like, there's an agenda. There's got to be something, like this is not like, the normal thing. So I personally, funny too that you bring up like another woman. I feel like that would be way more normal because most guys want to see like two girls, right? He definitely like, yes, he would love to watch that. He loves me with, other females. Most guys do, but he prefers me with another male. So for me, like he would take me and another guy all day long over me and girl. He's like, yeah, girl's cool, but I want you with another guy. So it's, and I kind of like that because for me, it has shown through the years that he's not looking for somebody else. He's not like, oh, well, like you're great, but she's really hot. And so I want to see, I want to see what she's got. Sure. Like he's all about me. And my personality is very much about me. And like, I want to be number one. I want to be like the main attraction, we'll say. So it literally all fit into our relationship dynamic without even knowing, because it's such a journey. And that's the other part of this is it took so long and so many conversations and so many experiences to realize like, okay, I like this. I don't like this. This is how I feel. Now I feel stronger. I feel more confident. And so it's an ongoing journey for sure.
Yeah, it's always ongoing. Were there guardrails in place or rules or regulations at the beginning? And did they eventually get, widened or fall down or collapse or something like that? You were nervous about it. He was excited for it. But did he also be like, now look, I'm excited for this, but maybe we shouldn't let the guy da-da-da-da. Like, did you have guardrails in place?
Honestly, it's super funny. Me and my husband we're very different, but very similar in certain aspects. And a similarity of ours is we go all in. So when we decide something, we like, yep, we're going for it. And so honestly, that was kind of a struggle for us in finding people when we're talking lifestyle only in the beginning, to find lifestyle people, because we were like, fuck it, we like this. Let's find other people that are like this. This is cool. But then as you're like exploring other couples, it's like, okay, well, wait, he's into me. She's not into him. They want to be like right next to us. Like, and then we found out all these like different rules. So yeah, there are guardrails, but we didn't have any. And so we found there was a big struggle with trying to find couples compatible with us, and so many like thinking they want to get into the lifestyle and then backing out. And hey, to each their own. If you're not ready, you're not ready. That's totally fine. But for me and my personality, I was like, okay, well, I thought we were going to play like this stuff. So, again, the whole all in type of personality, I'm like, cool. For me, I'm like, we're going out, we're going to have fun, and this is going to be hot.
I have to ask this too. I don't know how to word this to not sound rude, not to you or your husband, but the other people. Have either of you ever had to, I know you're a sports person, I've seen it on Twitter, take one for the team? Has anyone ever had to take one for the team? Maybe you were really interested in the guy and the wife had a bunch of skin tags on her, or maybe he was really interested in a girl and the guy looked, I don't know, very like me, so you were turned off immediately.
You're so funny.
Has there ever been I didn't love that, but I know you were going to enjoy that. Maybe not.
Sure. So yes, for me personally, so what happened, because the whole dynamic is hard to find, like trying to find two couples that everyone vibes with is very rare. So we started finding single guys. That's way easier to like work through, to find someone that's going to work, for us. Because it's one less piece to the puzzle, basically, right? It's just a guy. there were guys that, we would meet up with, and it's like, I could tell he was excited. And so I was like, okay, like, I don't want to, because I'm a pleaser. I'm like, I don't want to like make this not good. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's just go with it. And nothing, luckily, ever bad happened, or like it never blew up in my face or anything. We never had any arguments over it. It's like, yeah, it was fine. Not the best. Like, probably wouldn't want to see him again. But yeah, so I would say in that aspect, like, it's happened a few times. Been very lucky though.
Sure, for sure. Well, most of the people in the lifestyle I interview are like, oh no, absolutely not. And I feel like they're just being nice. So thank you. I appreciate that. Where sometimes it's like, hey, look, this isn't my dream person I'm going to be with, but my dream person is my husband and he wants to see this, and I'm not viciously uncomfortable with this. I'm just not necessarily turned on right now.
Exactly. And I feel like, with me, I'm just an open book. I'm honest. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you my honest, like, answer, feelings, whatever. For those people, maybe it is true. But for me, like you said, I wasn't like in any uncomfortable situation. Sure. It was just like, yeah, like, this guy ain't my vibe, but it'll work for the night. Sure.
Okay. So we're doing did you guys then like expand out into, have you ever been to a swinger party or gone into swinger parties, or is it more just a you guys individual contact type thing?
Majority for us was like individual contact. We have gone to like a handful, like I can count on one hand of like swinger things we've done. And they're okay. They're fun. But the introverted side of me comes out in the sense of, like, it can be very overwhelming, like all these people. And I'm definitely not one to, I should say, when I'm not Brianna, I am not one to just like pop up and be like, hi, I'm so-and-so, like, I'm so excited to be here. Like, that's just not my natural personality. You come talk to me, I'll be super excited to talk to you all night long. Like, so I like to be approached, not approach somebody else. Sure. So the swinger like events things were a little bit like, and he's the same. So he is very much like, hey, I'm going to sit in the corner, not be a weirdo in the corner, but like, hey, like he's just similar in the sense we like to be the ones approached, and then, we'll be your best friends, but we just don't like feel comfortable going up and sitting next to someone and buying them a drink. Like, totally.
I'm always shocked at the level of adult performer that I talk to who says inevitably, I'm an introvert. And I go, yes. My dumb caveman brain goes, I don't know. I just saw your entire body on the internet. I don't know how introverted you can be. But I guess it's just a totally different mindset. Now, do you have to, I know this sounds really dumb and like method actory, but do you have to click Brianna on? Do you have to go, I'm ready to go?
Yes.
Shh. Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. So, it is night and day. Anybody that has found out about Brianna is like, what? Like, hold on. Like, this is fucking insane. Like, how, what? And they are just purely intrigued by, how is this person that is so completely different? It's truly an alter ego. And I think it is something that is truly me, though. And that's the thing is, I express myself like in just a way more confident way as Brianna. So I like it, I like the attention, where when I'm not Brianna, I don't like attention. Trust me, when I explain this, I feel like it sounds fucking insane.
No, I get it too. I've said stuff on this show that afterwards, when I listen back, I go, oh shit, you said that out loud? Don't do that. So funny. Whatever, you gotta just deal with it. It's on the internet now. Don't worry about it. Exactly. So how do you decide then to start shooting mainstream stuff? Like, because it's a jump from not taking your clothes off on the internet to camming. And then it is another massive mountain-sized jump to get to actually filming scenes. And you said you put in a lot of work in terms of thinking it through and deciding you were going to make it this. Take me through that. How did you initially decide, like, all right, we're going to start doing this stuff?
Sure. So, again, because me and my husband are so like all in about stuff, I'm like, okay, streaming's really fun. This is awesome. I'm making money. Like, I'm loving this, right? And then honestly, I really don't remember how the mainstream thing like came up as an idea. I feel like I was trying to find different ways. I'm like, okay, if I'm making money on here doing this, where else can I do this to make money? So I'm pretty sure like I just started looking around. I'm like, so you go to these websites and you can like submit yourself and like apply to, you know, be a porn actress.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh, I think I should do it. And because I am very like, when I decide something, I just kind of go with it. I'm pretty positive I went through the steps and submitted myself and then told my husband, like, but then I got a response. So my very first booking, I did myself, like direct with the company and everything. So then I'm like, holy shit, you know, okay, do we want to do this? And so then him and I like went down like, okay, this is forever. Number one, right? You never get taken down from the internet.
Sure.
Who knows who could find out? What are the repercussions, right? We're like, our family could hate us. Our family could cut us off. We didn't have kids at the time. Okay, if we want to start a family, like, how do we think this is going to like potentially affect us?
Sure.
And ultimately, because we feel so the same in, we're not bad people for choosing what we do for porn, for lifestyle, any of this. We didn't feel that our family would hate us. We didn't feel that the kids that we didn't know we were going to have would be like, oh my God, you guys are terrible. We are non-judgmental. We are loving. We are very open-minded people. And so is our family, you know, most of them. And we're raising our kids that way to don't judge other people. I feel like my whole motto in life is just be a kind person, and I give everybody a chance. And I feel like until you show me otherwise, I'm going to treat you kind and with love and positive. Now, if you decide to, you know, flip that on me, then there's a whole nother side. But I just feel like everybody deserves a chance. And I feel like if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. It doesn't matter like what color your skin is, where you're from. I don't give a shit about any of that. An asshole's an asshole. So that's how I was raised, and that's how I'm raising my kids. Be kind.
I feel the same way. I give everyone a chance. I will give you a chance right off the bat. I don't care who you are, what you look like. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But strike one is when you say something nasty or, you know, that I just don't like. Strike two, I'm turning the keys and dropping the nuke. Like, we'll figure out a way to ruin your day because you've pissed me off for mine. But I don't feel the need to, like, do that without somebody being egregiously rude or nasty or whatever. I prefer just walk away, you know, just fuck them. They're miserable. You're a miserable person. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the internet. You're a miserable person.
Yes.
And that's your problem, not mine. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
That is truly how I look at it, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, you know what? Who knows what they're going through, what they've been through. It's just not a match for me. I'm good. I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I get it. It works. So now I noticed, is there a gap in your resume, as I would say, in terms of shooting? Is that for a positive thing or negative thing? I don't want to bring it up if it's negative.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Okay. So ultimately, I had gotten into mainstream in 2012, and it was awesome. So I was still holding a regular job. So I was doing a regular job, and I was just doing it on the side. I had signed with an agency, and they were getting me work. They knew, you know, like, okay, I'm only available like part-time-ish, you know, and it worked great. So like I held the full-time job, and then this was like extra cash on the side. It was super awesome. And I loved the attention and how I could be one person in the office, and then literally the next day I'm driving to LA and I'm going to be fucked on screen for like this huge company and this fancy house and all this stuff. Yeah. So it was really cool. Both avenues for me were very positive of full time, but then also doing porn. We were scared to pull the trigger to do it full time. I really, really wanted to, but we were like, man, like, is this a smart choice? Right? Like, how long is this going to last? Like, is this really what we should be doing? And so we never pulled the trigger to go full time. Well, the gap is because finally I'm like, okay, I really want kids. Like I want a family. So we chose to be like, okay, I'm going to step back from that and, try and have a family. I'm like, any fucking random guy trying to get pregnant. So pass on that for a little bit. And luckily we were able to start our family.
So without getting too personal at all, I'm not gonna talk about that, but was it weird to stop for a while? You had been in a flow of being with other men and shooting scenes and doing this and that, and then now you're going to try and be happy homemaker wife for a little bit, at least for a little while. Was that just what did your endorphins do? Did they go like fall off the side of a cliff, or like what happened during that? How'd you feel during that, I guess?
Sure. So, I actually, because the way I am and I go all in on everything, I'm like, no, now we're having a kid.
Sure.
So I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I was so focused on like, I want to have a baby. I want to be a mom. I want to do all this. And I knew that like that side of me was never going to go away, that I would come back to it. So it's just something that's ingrained in me that I love the whole adult industry. I love everything about it. So I knew I was going to come back to it. But for that time being, I'm like, okay, no, I want family. So it wasn't hard for me at all because I just shifted the mindset.
So let me ask you, in the time that you were away, what year did you step away? I saw you had a scene in 2020. See, I didn't know if it was maybe COVID related because it seemed like it was from most of 2020 to 2024, I think.
Yeah, so that's funny that you're actually like super close. So that was for baby number 2. So the first one that I left mainstream, I want to say it was like 2015 that I was like, okay, and we had her maybe it was even, it had to have been 15. It's really huge struggles with like infertility and stuff. So there was a couple of years, and then I had the first one in 2017, then had to like, work to get back to it all. So then I done OnlyFans and like my own like creator thing from that point on. So once I had the first baby, then I got back into just doing my own thing. Then 2020 was when I got pregnant with the second one. Okay. So then fast forward, I still, even while I was pregnant, like I wasn't with anybody else. I didn't do that, but I was doing solo stuff. So I was still like, hey, I loved being pregnant and I loved showing off even pregnant. So with number 2, I got all kinds of belly stuff. So, so I did that. And then ultimately again, because it's literally, I feel like my calling,
sure.
2023-ish, okay. I want to say, maybe even 2022. Okay. I feel like it was even 2022 starting to get back into like it was 22, with the, actually getting with creators and lifestyle stuff and that sort of thing.
The industry seems like it not necessarily moves fast from the outside, but from the stuff I've seen inside, people adding new things and, again, more women going into their own independent type stuff. How did it change during kid number 2 when you stopped in 2020, something like that, and came back just a few years later where you had a flood of OnlyFans girls come into the industry? There are some, look, I have a wife. I've been with my wife for a long time. I've always been fascinated and fun. I've found porn to be so fun and so interesting. And then I would see some of these names. People would be like, you should get this person on. I'd go like, I've never even heard of her. I'll look up the thing. I'll go, she's never even shot any mainstream scenes. 1.2 million followers on Twitter. And yes. You go, oh, there's a whole different like subterranean group. Not that it's bad or negative. It's like two separate things, but there used to be indie and industry. And now it seems like, industry always had the higher marketing, the higher mainstream push. I don't know anymore. Obviously, if you get your name slapped on the top of Brazzers somewhere, it's a really great advertisement for you. Yeah. But it seems like people can really build careers without having to hit mainstream necessarily. Was that an odd shift for you? Like, did you I know you were doing OnlyFans at the time, but it's not, I asked this question, but I think you just love it, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out a way, like, how did you justify it in your mind? No, because you fucking love doing it. That's why, yes. Right?
I do. So the thing is, like, there's a lot of different, like, aspects to this answer. So one, yes, I love it. And I in between baby one and baby two, it's just for fun, right? I'm like, I love showing off. I can make a few bucks here and there, always have my regular job. You know, it was just on the side, like fun, because I loved the attention and the money that was tied to it. And when I say money, I mean, it's minimal, right? Like I wasn't taking it serious. It just was a fun thing for me to do. So now after baby number two, I still have my regular job, and I'm like so stressed out at this corporate job. I hated life. I was like beyond stressed out. I mean, it was like really, really bad. Like my husband's like, we got to do something. Like this is like, you know, this is unhealthy, this and that. And from the outside, I see all these girls being successful on OnlyFans. I'm like, okay, I think if I take this serious, like, I think I could do it. You know, everyone loves my personality. They love my content. They love all of this. I think I can do it. So I started trying to like take it serious and like build it up. And then I quit my job. Now, I quit my job before there was like a flow of income coming from these platforms. And the outside looking in, I feel like always thinks, oh my God, you've got to be making all this money. And like, you know, they see my pool pictures and, you know, like my outside, like we have a nice house. We have a nice pool, like is not the best, but you know what? It is nice. And where all that came from was my corporate, like my corporate grind. That's where it came from. Mm-hmm. And people get it twisted thinking like it's OnlyFans. I'm like, no, it is so fucking hard to make money on OnlyFans, like a sustainable, like when you're doing it on your own. I want to add that in. And I know this is probably like I don't know if it is a questionable topic or whatever, but I think everybody knows that management companies running pages. I know that is a thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it or not, but a lot of people do. They do. Yeah. Okay. People tell me about it. Yeah. It is really hard for me to like, yes, I've looked into them because I'm like, I feel like that's the only ones that are like making money, right? But I can't like let go of like my page. I'm like, I love the people that are there. I don't want them talking to somebody that I don't even know who they are. Like, I think that's so crappy, and it takes away from what I feel like the original intention behind it was. And like I do want to make money, and I'm trying really hard to do it and make this work financially because I just love it so much. But trying to get the money for it is so hard, and I'm constantly trying to pivot. I do trial and error. I'm like, how the fuck did you make this work?
The outside perception it's okay. I'll say on both hands, but knowing what goes on inside this a little bit, even just from discussing it with people, the outside perception on what a porn star does and makes and everything is fucking crazy. Like, it's just absurd. But as a guy who just, you know, talks into a microphone for fun, I still have my corporate job as well. Clinical research is my job, and my degree is in film. So next time you go take a new medicine. Anyway, the point I was going to say is, I forgot. I totally forgot. Oh, perception.
Yes.
If I was a new girl coming into the industry and they were like, you know, quadruple gangbang with anal, I'd be like, okay, so I'll probably make what, 25,000 off of that, and I'll just have to go shoot for a couple hours and never talk about it again or do it again. It's so not what happens, right? It is such a grind to get money for these scenes, and then you have to figure out how to market it and push it and everything else, right? Did you think your job was going to be 95% admin work when you decided to be a porn star?
Right. I mean, no, you really don't. And that is the perspective of everybody. Let me take some feet pics. I'm going to make a bunch of money and hang out all day. I'm like, I spend so much time on my phone. It's like, it gets exhausting. So it is very hard. And, you know, the marketing side of things, that is always it, right? You want the eyes. You need the eyes to even have the potential for somebody to want to click that subscribe button. It's really hard. And I don't have the funds to be able to pay whoever is doing these marketing blasts, and who are they really going to?
Sure.
I'm so skeptical about all of it, seriously. Like, I think there's such a whole crazy thing that goes on that people are just making money on people, and it's very hard. So I have a lot of a skepticism about that stuff.
I totally get it. Now, I do love the PR companies I work with personally. Brianna hates them, but I'm just kidding. No. I'm sure, there's creeps and monsters all over the place. Let's get into the content, okay? What am I going to see if I head on over at Brianna Brooks VIP on the OnlyFans? By the way, folks, if you are not signed up yet, bare minimum you could do is at least follow these folks that come on our show on Twitter, social media, whatever it is. That's free. That costs you nothing.
Free.
Next step, payday comes around. Boom, we're heading over to the OnlyFans, okay? At Brianna Brooks VIP, links to everything in the episode description. Take me through it. Are you a daily updater? Are you a weekly updater? Are we getting pictures every couple days? Are we getting a produced video? Like, what is the theme or the style of your OnlyFans?
Sure. So for me, I like to, because I like attention, I like posting, right? I share literally daily, like all throughout the day, pictures, videos, like little, like, okay, I'm getting dressed, like this morning, I was filming with someone. So on the VIP, you can see I put teasers like little pictures. I talk about who it is I'm with, who I'm working with. If I have a lifestyle thing, I'll talk about like, oh, I'm going out tonight. Like, you get to see the intricacies of my day to day. I post pictures of me cooking. I respond to everybody on my VIP page because they have at least taken the step to pay my monthly subscription. And for me, that is huge. And it means a lot, like clicking just that. And then of course, always be kind, right? But, ultimately I post full solo videos weekly, at least one a week. Honestly, I feel like I probably post too much. Literally everyone that comes over, they're like, oh my God, there's like so much content. They're like, I'm going to enjoy this. And I'm like, you're welcome. Like, I want you to enjoy. And then every week I post on Fridays a new XXX video. So me and whoever it is I'm working with. So every Friday you get a full video. Sometimes, actually a lot of the times I do re-releases too. So like, maybe 2 years ago, there's a video I really liked. And so, I'm going to put that out on Wednesday. So I'll just drop there's so much content, but for sure you can count on literally me every single day, me being on my page, posting pictures and videos, a weekly XXX video, and at least one full length solo, usually more. But that's the bare minimum that you get. But that speaks to the authenticity you talked about as well, where it wasn't just, my question was like, do you post a picture a day? Like, I'm thinking if I was a girl who was just kind of somewhat into it, all right, here's your new to the day. It sounds like you're giving update. Oh my God, check this out. It's really following you. It's really not in a creepy way, not in a stalker way. It's really like checking through your day and seeing what you are going through. And that really is exciting to people. I think that's what separates OnlyFans from any of the big mainstream sites. I can go watch Brianna Brooks get fucked on this site over here. That's great. Yeah. But like, show me what she's doing today, right? And that is literally what I like to provide, is getting to know me. I love getting to know my fans that are on there and actually interacting with me. I love interaction. I love feedback. Every Monday for, God, over 2 years now, I have maybe missed like a handful, but every single Monday I do a free live show. Now, it's not me using a dildo all on myself, but it's an interaction show. It's 45 minutes to an hour. It's literally free. Anybody can come on there, and I call it my Get to Know Your MILF Monday. So, it has had so many great questions and interactions, and my intention behind doing that is I want them to get to know me, and if they like my personality, maybe they'll click that subscribe button and come over and see a shit ton more. So I am willing to do like the free show weekly, and it's been so well received. I am so consistent on that and so consistent on my posting. Like, everyone knows up 11 a.m. they pop on and here's Brianna, because I am always there and ready for MILF Monday, whether I'm hungover or whatever. Like, I show up on Monday.
That's so funny. So do you prefer producing your own content, or do you like shooting mainstream stuff as well? Is there where are you at, and where do you think you want to be going forward?
So I really love both. I get this question a lot, and it's truly, I love aspects about both things. So mainstream, I really love like the quality of literally everything. So the quality of where you're at, the set, who you're working with. Not that, outside of that is not, but, they are like cream of the crop, performers. The wardrobe, the hair, like, it's just so like fancy, and I love that. I like that whole thing of mainstream, and it's super cool. You get a check at the end, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So there's the financial tag to that. So I love that. It's fun. I'm really obsessed with pictures, so it's super cool to see like the pictures afterwards. Like, so I love that whole just way that they produce things.
Gotcha.
I also like that you can just show up and they say, this is what you're doing. So you don't have to come up with ideas of like, okay, what should I do this week?
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, doing my own thing, I have the complete control over what I want to do, who I want to do it with. And so that part is beneficial too. So a mix for me would be perfect, which is what I'm trying to do, is have a mix of both.
Gotcha. I interviewed Lily Bell probably last year. She's a total sweetheart, and she was telling me she was very excited. Oh my God, I shot a bunch of lesbian stuff for my my many vids. One of them, something. I shot a whole bunch of lesbian stuff, and I love doing it. And I was like, "How did it sell?" And she goes, "Not well at all." Is there anything? Is there a niche, a trend, something like that you desperately want to shoot and have it be really successful, where you'd be like, oh, it's their daily, titty twist Tuesday, and I'm going to pull on my nipples for a while? Like, is there anything where you're like, fuck, please let that be the next trend that takes off?
That's a great question, honestly. God, anything. Realistically, because that literally, how she said, when you asked how did it sell, that is literally the thing. So at the end of mainstream, you get a check. When you are making your own stuff and putting it up there, you are literally hoping people buy it. Right. The next thing I would say, so, okay, here's my answer. I think just a basic home sex tape. I love not having to make it, and not staged in a sense, but the reality is anybody that is creating porn for you to view, it's not like we just set up a camera and then you get all these amazing angles and close-ups and that sort of thing. You have to pause, you have to move, you have to like shift, to get everything that everybody wants to see. It's not just a real run-through sex tape. So for me, because I love just being able to have sex and enjoy it and not worry about angles and all of that, that would be awesome if that took off. Because that is like my favorite way to film. I'm just like, yes, like it's so like, it's capturing the real chemistry, the real sex, what really happens. And so that would be awesome for me.
Are there any like niches or trends that you hope will go away? Like, are you okay being a stepmom for a while, or is that not in your, do you not enjoy that? Like, is there anything where you're like, fuck, I hope I don't get calls for, I enjoy the work, please send more work, but maybe not that type of scene?
So the only thing, honestly, that comes to mind, because I'm all into like the stepmom stuff, I'm into a lot of stuff. Like, I am very like kink friendly, open to all kinds of stuff. And it's super hot finding people to explore them with. Like, I find stuff all the time. I'm like, oh, actually, I like that. And so now I'm going to incorporate that. So, I would say the only thing for me that I don't like and I turn down all the time is if somebody wants like a custom video that is like crazy scripted. Like they send me like 2 pages of, okay, say this and say that. I'm like, man, I'm not even going to read this. Like, sorry. For me, I like the authenticity of myself of like, you give me a general outline. If you have some certain things you want me to say and incorporate, cool, easy. And I make it happen. I get really good reviews on my custom videos, but that's because I stick to what I know and what I feel comfortable with and what I feel like I can portray well. If you're telling me to read all this crap, it's going to look bad and you're going to be disappointed in the video, honestly. So I don't want to disappoint anybody. So I just don't even go down that route. So for me, anything like heavily scripted.
Interior, Brianna's bedroom, and then you write it out like a full fucking script. So what we should just message is things like this, like, hi, I'd like to purchase a custom video. I'd like you to pretend to be my stepmommy and tell me how much you enjoy facials. Like, that should be it, right?
Like you can do even more than that,
sure.
But it's like, oh my God, when you're saying now you're going to walk in and you need to turn this way. And when you do that, you need to look at the camera and say this whole sentence. Is like, man, I ain't doing that.
That's when you send a Venmo request for 10 times whatever you sent and say, sure, I'll print this out and I'll get it memorized and you send that over, right? Okay. All right. Moving into my last phase here, let me ask, are there must be if you came back to it twice. You came back to this industry twice. Do you know how much you love this shit?
I love it. Yes, it's real.
Wait, I have to do this beforehand. It's a thing I like to do called Stat Check. And what I do is use the Internet Adult Film Database. What we do is I'm tracking the numbers of scenes you've shot and this and that. Now, let me say, these are wrong. These are always wrong. They don't include certain scenes. They don't include this thing you did. So this shouldn't be like your ledger to get into heaven. Like, this is not an appropriate resume for you.
Sure.
But let me run through it. So
I'm curious to see what's on this.
There you go. Okay. Scenes you have shot, 88. Male performers you've worked with, 32. Female performers you've worked with, 18. I only do AVN because it's the easiest one to track. No noms and no wins. Is that correct or wrong? Because they always get awards wrong. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So when we check back a year from now, you'll be drowning in AVN awards, and obviously you'll have a bigger pool from all the $25,000 scenes you'll be shooting between now and then. Yeah. But it is a good marker to say, all right, this is where Brianna was at this time.
Yeah. Interesting.
Are there any what goals do you have on the horizon, like in this industry? What's the next plateau you want to reach, if you look at it that way? Unless you have just an ultimate goal at the end of a hill. I am not doing a Nazi salute. I'm pointing up. What is the goal, the next thing we're shooting for in this industry?
Sure. So, ultimately the biggest thing I want out of this is to have the financial, like, not even financial freedom. I'm not even trying to be like fucking, millions on millions of dollars or anything. I just want to be able to make my bills. I want to be able to, if the kids need stuff, like not have to be like, oh my God, like, how are we going to do this? I don't want my credit cards maxed out. Like there's all kinds of things to where the goal is to just financially be in a way better spot than I am right now. And the thought behind trying to get there is, I re-signed with my agency that I started with. So Ideal Image Models. I signed with them as a talent and an agent. So this time I'm coming back as both. So I would love, love, love to get back into mainstream as now, true MILF Brianna. But on the agent side, I absolutely am loving what I'm learning on the agent side. Like for me, I'm all about everybody winning. So I feel there is so much that everyone can win from and be successful. And so I am loving that side of getting involved on the kind of like basically a project coordinating and, talking to producers and like showing them the girls and figuring out and then setting the girls up for their shoots. It's like, I want to make sure they are comfortable with what they're going to be going to do, that they have their ticket, their test, everything. So that from my corporate side was my favorite part of my job. Like I did all kinds of stuff for a lot of years in the corporate world. And when I was doing like project management, loved it because it was so cool to be able to literally like you get a call from the customer and then you make that job happen with, you know, your materials and your crew. So I'm literally doing the same thing just in sex now. So I'm like, instead of, you know, like the construction guys in work, it's girls and making sure they have their clothes and are able to perform. So I feel like I'm very new to the agent side. I mean, it's been probably a month since I've been, you know, learning the ropes and, you know, still working through it. But I feel like a goal for me would be to help the agency build up, grow the team, get the team a shit ton of business. So they're all successful and they're out there doing great in this industry. I'm benefiting from helping the agency grow, but still continuing to do my stuff and then not have as much pressure on my personal side. It can be more fun. So I have been asked through the years of me doing OnlyFans, they're like, well, you wouldn't do this if you won the lotto. And I'm like, no, actually, I would. And I would do it a hell of a lot better because I'd have a shit ton of money to be able to do it. I could go on a cruise. I could go to the Caribbean and film on a beach. Like, I legit love all of this. And so I truly would just be able to have fun with it and not be feeling the pressure of like, fuck, I can't make the bills, you know? So that would be in a roundabout answering way.
Did you hear about Brianna Brooks? Yeah, she only shoots on her yacht now. It's strange.
Yes, please.
I'm tired of seeing water scenes, but she's so hot.
Yes, that would be the best problem to have.
Right, yeah. Last question. This is not meant to be controversial. It's only meant to get the mindset of a performer because I've asked this of the last like 10 interviews I've done, and it varies, but it always gets to a very similar place. So, what should be the age that female performers are able to get into this industry? And it's a loaded question because there's a lot more to it, but I just want to get your thought process on that.
Sure. That is a tough question, honestly, because I feel like obviously 18, you can do it, right? And there's a shit ton of opportunity to 18. But I also do feel like not everybody knows who they are at that time. I know I sure as hell didn't know who I was at 18. And so would that be like a mistake going down that path? Because again, it is irreversible. Once you're out, you're out. That's a really good question. I actually don't know. I don't know because I'm so about like, hey, you know, make your own choices, make your own decision. And I support, you know, whatever that is, as long as you're not hurting anybody or yourself.
Sure.
But I'm very supportive of, that's a really good question. I feel like I want to say like, sure, 18, but I mean, shit, repercussions, man.
I'll tell you, I've interviewed performers that got into the industry at 18, and my theory is similar to yours. I go, like, if you're old enough to, unfortunately, go fight in a war overseas at 18, you should be allowed to shoot porn. But then it comes into the thing on maturity, wiseness, how, you know, a lot of 18, 19-year-old girls are getting tricked. So me and about, I don't know, 4 other AVN nominees all came up with a theory. Maybe you just do softcore or camming or modeling from 18 to 21, understand the business a little more, and talk to people, this and that. And then 21, go ahead, go shoot a gangbang. Again, I have no prep. I'm a fucking 38-year-old dude. Like, it doesn't matter what I think. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, from a safety issue, I understand it. But I've met 18-year-olds who are 10 times more mature than I am, and I've met 40-year-olds who have no fucking idea what they're doing in life.
Yes. And I think that's the problem is you don't know because it's a case by case, right? Because some people, they just know they are down and they want to do it. And that's if they want that to be their career, you know, go for it, man. Make the most of it. But then there are so many too that it's like, man, like, you know, unfortunately, I think some things happen in their lives and, you know, choices get made. And it's like, I don't know that you want to really like do that. So, yeah, that maturity level, I feel like is It's really tough.
So the message is, if you want to get into this industry, it's not as easy as showing up on set, getting fucked, and going home. I mean, not necessarily that easy. Not to make a paycheck, I would say, a full living doing that.
Right.
You got to add in the social, you got to do this, that, understand contracts, understand travel, understand any of that if you're trying to get into this, because if not, I heard just a horrendous story. I interviewed a girl. It's not graphic horrendous, but 18-year-old girl booked a scene on Sexy Jobs, flew halfway across the country, standing outside of the hotel. Hey, is someone going to let me in? We want to shoot the scene. Ghost. No response. And I hear that and I go oh, we need to protect all 18-year-old girls, because that's my emotional reaction.
Sure, yes.
But then people have laid out to me before, some girls are kicked out of their home, and they want to get into sex work as a way of doing it. I wouldn't want to take that away from them. So be mature about it if you're going to enter a mature industry. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Brianna Brooks. You can find her, you know exactly where to find her, at Brianna Brooks VIP, but make sure you go through all the links in the episode description. I need you to bare minimum follow this wonderful lady so that we can get her to a place where she's shooting porn strictly on yachts from now on. Okay?
Yes, go into the yachts.
You're going to head over to the OnlyFans at Brianna Brooks VIP. Brianna, thank you so much for coming on with me. I wish you nothing but success going forward.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. You're great, and I love these questions. It was a really good time.